From Dolphin Soccer Park on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II women's soccer coverage live on the ECC network. Today's non-conference matchup features the Georgian Court University Lions taking on the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joe Foreman once again on the call solo this afternoon for CSI Dolphins women's soccer. The Dolphins taking on the Lions on their home turf today here at Dolphin Soccer Park in their second-to-last home match of the 2022 season. For the Dolphins, it has been a struggle recently. They have played to a 1-8-1 record this season. Not much better in the conference, 1-4-1 against the ECC. The Lions come in with a record of 3-6-6 overall. They are 2-4-4 in conference play. As for the Dolphins, they were last in action this past weekend against Mercy College. I do apologize. I had to step aside for a couple of moments there. I was waved into the next room. I'm being told we're having some audio issues right now. So if there are issues with our audio, we do apologize. But right now, we are trying to contend with that ahead of kickoff. The Dolphins and the Lions coming up next on the ECC network from Dolphin Soccer Park. As I mentioned before I stepped aside quickly, the Dolphins were last in action on Saturday in a conference matchup against the Mercy College Mavericks. The Dolphins did not register a shot in the first half of that match, but they were within striking distance at the break, trailing by just a pair of goals. The Mavericks then broke the game wide open in the second half. They scored 4 times on their way to a 6-0 victory over the College of Staten Island. The Lions last played on Saturday as well and dropped a 3-2 result in conference play against the University of Bridgeport. The Lions did get on the board first in that game, but they did surrender 3 unanswered goals after that. They got back to within 1 late in that game, but that was not enough as they fell 3-2 against the Purple Knights. The Dolphins have been stuck on 3 goals for much of the 2022 season. It's really been a struggle for CSI on the attack, and those 3 goals belong to Adriana Melgar, Christina Lambraya, and Macy Jones-Bush. Melgar, along with Ariel Solomon, Emily Albano, and Angie Galan, the Dolphins who have started all 10 games for CSI. So 4 Dolphins have gotten into the starting lineup in each and every game so far this year. In goal, Sarah Villacrest has allowed 2 goals or fewer 3 times in the team's last 4 games. Or I should say 3 times in the last 5 games. It was 3 out of 4 games ahead of Saturday's matchup with Mercy College. That made it 3 out of 5 games, allowing 2 goals or fewer for the Dolphins goalkeeper. However, Villacrest will not be in net this afternoon as Brianna Dorr gets the start in goal for the College of Staten Island. As for the Lions, leading the way in goals are Leah Canfield and Crystal Hund, who each have 4 goals on the season. That duo also leads the team in shots attempted, and Canfield is one of 4 Lions who's played in and started every game for Georgian Court University. Abby Kennelly leads Georgian Court in assists with 3 on the season, and she did score a pair of goals the last time out against the Purple Knights for this Georgian Court Lions team. Alyssa Diaz has started all 15 games in goal for the Lions, allowing less than 2 goals per game and saving nearly 75% of the shots that she has faced. We have just a couple of minutes to go before the introduction of starting lineups and kickoff. So one last thing I'd like to do before we break for the national anthem is to take a look back at last year's meeting between these 2 teams. The Dolphins and the Lions met on September 21st of 2021. That game was all Georgian Court. They took the victory by a final score of 8-0 in that match, cruising to a win over the College of Staten Island. And we'll talk a bit more about that match when we come back from break. Starting lineups about to be introduced from Dolphin Soccer Park. The national anthem coming up next. On the other side of this break, Dolphins and the Lions here on the ECC network. And we are back here on the ECC network, the College of Staten Island, about set to get underway against Georgian Court University. And I do have the starters for both teams, beginning first with the visiting Lions in numerical order. In goal is 0, Alyssa Diaz. The rest of the Georgian Court starters, number 2, Crystal Hund. Number 5, Abby Kennelly. Number 6, Sydney Kulinguski. Number 7, Sophia Rodolfo. Number 11, Emily Clayton. Number 18, Gabby Parkinson. Number 23, Carissa Robbins. Number 24, Letitia De Silva. Number 29, Grace Confederac. And number 33, Aaliyah Canfield. Starters for the College of Staten Island are as follows. In goal this afternoon is 0, Brianna Dorr. The rest of the Dolphins starters in numerical order. Number 4, Emily Albano. Number 5, Macy Jones-Bush. Number 7, Barbara Serrano. Number 8, Nadia Evola. Number 13, Isabella Castro. Number 15, Sofia Espada. Number 17, Angie Galan. Number 21, Stephanie Ballesteros. Number 23, Ariel Salomon. And number 27, Megan Marr. Once again, the Dolphins come in 1-8-1. The Lions come in with a record of 3-6-6. And I did touch on it during our last broadcast. The Dolphins still are mathematically alive for an East Coast Conference playoff berth, but it is going to take some work, and we will see if the Dolphins can pull that off across their last 3 matches, as they have one final non-conference affair on the schedule this afternoon against Georgian Court. And they do also have one additional non-conference matchup at the end of their schedule. So including today, 5 matches left for the College of Staten Island. Of course, today's match against Georgian Court. Then 3 consecutive conference games ahead of one last non-conference match on November 2nd. Right now, for those of you awaiting word on Senior Day, we do believe it will be Wednesday against Damon University. Still no word on whether or not we have swapped the times for the men's game and the women's game next Wednesday. Again, that is 1 week from today that women's soccer will host Senior Day against the Damon University Wildcats. So be sure to join us here at Dolphin Soccer Park for that. And for those of you watching at home this afternoon, thank you for tuning in. We are set to get underway from the College of Staten Island. Dolphins and Lions on CSI Sportsnet. CSI Sportsnet, of course, a proud part of the ECC network. We are also debuting our automated camera this afternoon. Huddle Focus will follow the action for you here at the College of Staten Island. So if you do see some black along the top of your screen or at the bottom, that is our automated camera that sometimes leaves a bit of a black mark near the top of the screen. But as it follows the action, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. So I don't know if we'll have to worry about that as the game is going on, but that would be the reason for that. Don't adjust your screens. Everything is operating as intended. We also have our East Coast Conference scoreboard in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. That is overlaying the main scoreboard here at Dolphin Soccer Park. The teams will be using Huddle Focus for game film as well. So they have the main clock up on the screen, but we have our East Coast Conference official scoreboard there in its place. I will have to resync our clock, as it doesn't appear that is correctly synced with the time up on the scoreboard here at Dolphin Soccer Park. So I'll do that right now and hopefully get that correctly synced as we are just underway here in the first half. And we are now correctly synced with the scoreboard here at Dolphin Soccer Park. 43:45 on the clock, and the Lions do possess it, but not for long. It's taken away by Macy Jones-Bush. The Dolphins look to move into the midfield, and nobody home on that ball as it rolls to the back line of the Lions. It is tracked down by De Silva. Moving up the near side with possession is Clayton. She sent it toward the center of the pitch for Hund, who gives it up to Parkinson. Parkinson back to Robbins. She sends it toward the far side. Waiting for it was Confederac. Short pass once again up the far side. Here come the Lions down toward the corner. This is Kennelly. Sends it into the box. That rolled past Rodolfo and was knocked away by Angie Galan. Castro sends it ahead. That's Ballesteros. And she was nearly dispossessed from behind, but the Dolphins do earn a throw-in. Castro will throw. Short throw goes to Galan. That's chipped into the air, right into the midfield circle where it's headed by Jones-Bush and tracked down by Kulinguski. That's Confederac. Over to the midfield stripe for Canfield. She sends it far side. Rodolfo passes up ahead once again to Kennelly, moving down toward the corner. But she was a bit strong on that touch, and the Dolphins are awarded the goal kick. Once again, Brianna Dorr in goal for the Dolphins this afternoon. Sarah Villacrest has gotten the majority of the playing time in net this season. For Dorr, this is her second start. She's appeared in 6 games, so though Dorr has only started once, she has appeared in 6 of the Dolphins' outings this year. She's allowed 10 goals and made 20 saves, saving an even 2 out of 3 shots she has faced this year. Her goals allowed average sits just north of 3.7. In those 6 outings, she has faced 58 shots. Big opportunity for the Dolphins' backup goalkeeper today, the freshman, getting the start in a non-conference matchup against the Lions. And as I mentioned before, the Dolphins have 3 big conference games remaining. They're still very much alive for an East Coast Conference playoff spot. They would need to win out to make that happen, but the Dolphins still control their own destiny, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double-check the standings a bit later in the broadcast, but that's where we stand right now in terms of the CSI women's soccer season. The men are also firmly alive in the East Coast Conference playoff hunt. More on that later. Here come the Lions. Chance to cross here. That's sent it to the middle of the box. Headed back by Kulingoski. And it's tracked down by Clayton. Clayton had it knocked away by Jones-Bush into the midfield. Waiting for it was De Silva. De Silva plays it to the far side. Confederac, too strong on that ball for Rodolfo. It was knocked over the far side. And the Dolphins will throw. Right now, the Dolphins sit in 7th place in the women's soccer standings in the East Coast Conference. If they were to win their last 3 games, taking a quick look at the standings, that would be enough to get in if, and that's if, St. Thomas Aquinas College loses 1 more game. So the Dolphins do not control their own destiny at this point. They would need Stack to lose 1 more time, and the Dolphins would have to win 3 straight in conference to end the season. Take a quick look at the Spartans' schedule after this attacking play. In moves Kennelly. Kennelly has a step. She shoots. And it was wide of the frame, but Dorr knocks it down. Emily Albano a bit slow to get up. An early chance there for Georgian court. We will get a second look at it. We do still have full replay capabilities despite the use of our new automated camera. So nothing changes in that regard as we will get a second look at that shot. We don't quite have the same level of zoom that we did before, but here's a second look at that last attempt by Kennelly. There you see it was going to be wide of the frame, but Dorr was able to keep it in play nonetheless. Spartans have 2 games left on their schedule in conference play, 1 against Queens and 1 against Dieuville. Dolphins yet to face Queens, and they defeated Dieuville for their lone conference win. So in order for the Dolphins to have a chance to make the playoffs, the Spartans would have to lose 1 of those 2 games, and the Dolphins would have to win out. Here come the Lions once again. That play is on sides. That's sent in front. It got by Dorr, and the shot was sent parallel to the frame. I think it may have been disrupted as well. Espada, Galan, and Marr were all in the area for CSI defensively after that ball got past Brianna Dorr. And we will get a second look at that play as well. Here's a second look. The attempt there was a cross. And it looks like Espada was the one who disrupted that second shot attempt. And that was huge as it likely saved a goal. 7.5 minutes into the first half. Still no score, but the Lions have applied some early pressure to Brianna Dorr in this Dolphins defense. They've controlled possession as well early in this game. Here come the Lions once again through the midfield. It's taken away by Galan. Albano sends it over to Castro. Castro looking for Solomon. Had it taken away on the pass interception. Kulinguski sends it down toward the corner. That ball too strong. It rolls over the touchline. Goal kick Staten Island at the 36:40 mark in this first half. Dorr sends it out into the midfield. It was knocked down there. Lions look to turn that into an attacking opportunity quickly, as I think we had a handball called there. Not sure about that one. Looked like it contacted the body, but Dolphins are awarded a free kick. Dorr will take the free kick. Sends it toward the midfield stripe. First to it was Kulinguski. Lions send it through the midfield once again. That was redirected by Hund and onto the foot of Emily Albano. Albano found Serrano on the pass, and Serrano dangerously sent it back toward Albano. Dorr faced slight pressure there from the Lions as Espada chips it up in the air. Serrano waiting for it. Plays it with the body near side. Got rid of it, but waiting for it was Kennelly. She looked to turn, and a strong tackle there by Emily Albano. Ball pinballs around in the midfield. It's tracked down by Confederac. Confederac finds Hund. And that pass was altered by a Dolphins foul. So free kick for the Lions, right on the edge of the attacking third. Looks like Confederac will come over to take it. Lions moving toward an alignment with the far post along the top of the penalty area. 5 Lions in that area, marked by 5 Dolphins. Castro coming in would make it 6 for Staten Island, as that is sent toward the center of the box onto the foot of one Lion. Tracking it down is Rodolfo. She looked to cross, and Castro got a piece of it and sent it over the end line. Corner kick, Georgian court at 34:30 in this first half. And Kulinguski will set up to take the corner. Kulinguski onto the foot of Parkinson, blocked and sent into the air. It's chipped skyward again. Attempting to head that ball was Clayton. It's sent back into the box. Dorr chasing it down was met by Kennelly. Albano quickly clears. That was a dangerous situation for the Dolphins. Clayton gets it back for Georgian court. Being challenged by Espada. Clayton sends it into the box, and Dorr will scoop it up. Nothing comes of that ball, and Dorr will likely look to punt it out toward midfield here. Good early pressure being applied by the Lions in this first half. Dolphins haven't had much possession time yet, as that ball is sent toward the corner, and Rodolfo can't get there. Goal kick Staten Island once again. The Lions have been outscored this season 29-16 and outshot 224 to 173. As for the Dolphins, they've been outscored 28-3 and outshot over a 3-1 margin, 177 to 52. Dolphins have been better recently, at least in terms of goal scoring. Heading into Saturday's matchup with the Mavericks, the Dolphins had scored 3 goals in their last 4 games. They've now scored 3 in the last 5, and most of the time that won't get it done. But they've had more chances recently. And scoring all starts with chances. Can't score without scoring opportunities, and the Dolphins have done a bit of a better job in that department. As there's a takeaway for the Lions in the midfield. Rodolfo moving in, avoids a pair of markers. She looks to cross, and Solomon breaks it up. Good defensive play there by Ariel Solomon. And once again, the Lions will have a corner kick here as Rodolfo went down. limping just a bit as she gets to her feet, but appears okay. I mentioned it during our abbreviated pregame. Ariel Salomon, one of 4 Dolphins who has started all 10 games, as that corner kick is sent over the crossbar and behind the frame. The rest of the Dolphins with that distinction are Angie Galan, Emily Albano, and Adriana Melgar. Dorr sends it over to Espada. She can't keep it in. Clayton will look to throw. That's over the head of Hund. Kennelly was closing in on Albano from behind, but she got rid of it just in time. Ballesteros back to Albano. That's sent far up the pitch. Nadia Evola giving chase. Evola rejoined the Dolphins lineup a couple of games ago. This is her first start of the season. Was also a key part in organizing CSI's mental health awareness game on Saturday alongside Jenna Como. Evola last season had 3 goals for the Dolphins across 16 games played. 10 of those starts, as Dorr will play that with the foot and pick it up. So nothing comes of that attacking play, and Dolphins will look to get reset again. Dolphins have really been pinned down at this end of the pitch so far. As looking to keep that in was Rodolfo. She could not. Evola's 3 goals last season were good for the team lead on the CSI roster. She had 6 points. Ballesteros just got it away for Serrano. Serrano retreating a bit, finds Galan. That ball sent up toward Hund, but waiting for it was Dorr. Speaking of Barbara Serrano, she's a part of our new CSI Sportsnet introduction video package. 2 of the women's soccer goals making that highlight reel of some standout moments from across the different sports in CSI athletics. That footage, of course, courtesy of our social media manager and athletic communications content creator, Marquise Pickering. We had a men's soccer goal celebration in there as well. Clayton moves down toward the end line and sends it over that end line. But they're going to say it was deflected by the Dolphins. So it looks like Espada got a foot on that one. And the Lions are awarded a corner kick. Won't be long before we're adding some basketball footage to our video package. Basketball gets underway 2 weeks from Friday. Might also be some swimming joining that video package soon, as swimming gets underway this Friday. That corner kick sent into the box. It was cleared away by Albano, who now gives chase. Kulinguski sends it into the midfield. Jones-Bush will apply some pressure, and the Lions are able to avoid it. Moving ahead is De Silva. Now Clayton working against Espada. Clayton looks to gain a step. She does, moving toward the end line, wants to cross, and Clayton just had too much speed. The season for CSI men's and women's swimming and diving will begin this Friday night, as those 2 squads will make their debut in the 2022-2023 season at the Tank. They will open against Adelphi University at 4 p.m. on Friday. We will have coverage of that meet on CSI Sportsnet. Right now, it looks like that feed is going to be video only. We're not going to have commentary. We will have some audio from inside the tank, as that's redirected onto the foot of Kulinguski, and she shoots it just wide. So Kulinguski had a chance there on that shot. And it sailed just wide. We'll get a second look at it. And we have been informed that our clock once again is stuck. Now, whether or not our clock communicates with our cloud scoreboard is almost solely dependent on the internet connection. So from time to time, that isn't the most reliable, as that corner kick was deflected by Hund. The ball bounced off her foot and then hit her in the face. With a goal kick upcoming, we are going to get a second look at that last shot right here, and then I'll get to work on our scoreboard. Here's another look at the last shot. Sailed just wide off the foot of Kulinguski, and Jones-Bush was offsides there. Scoreboard not cooperating at the moment. And it looks like we've got it back for now. So I'll try and keep a close eye on that moving forward through the broadcast. But worst case, we can always go with the venue scoreboard, which is hidden behind the East Coast Conference scoreboard graphics. So if the clock continues to be an issue, we'll switch over to the venue clock. Or perhaps set up a manual scoreboard. Either way, we approach 25 minutes to go in this first half. Still no score between the Dolphins and the Lions. Possession time has favored the Lions throughout this first half. They've had a distinct advantage in that department, as that's sent into the box and chipped up into the air. Our statistician, Louis Matrone, tuning in from at home this afternoon. He's feeling a bit under the weather, so I told him to sit this one out, but he is tuning in. A shout-out to Louis. His replacement on stats, Nick Bavona, and doubling as public address and scoreboard is Andrew Rotundo this afternoon. So credit to Nick and Andrew for picking up the extra burden. As the Lions move in, this is Hund. She gains a step, moving along the end line. Now moves toward the top of the penalty area. Sent that one toward Kulinguski, and it was just off the mark. Serrano dangerously played that back toward her own penalty area, but the Dolphins get away with it, or at least it appeared that way, as Evela's pass was intercepted. That's sent into the box, and Dorr is there waiting. We'll get some official numbers through the first about 21 minutes plus in this first half. It has been all Lions to this point. All 4 shots belong to Georgian court. All 3 shots on goal belong to the Lions. They also have 4 corner kicks. Brianna Dorr has been forced to make 3 saves. Just 3 fouls to this point. That may have been number 4 right there as we had a whistle, but instead it looks like the Dolphins will make a couple of substitutions. Christina Lambraya and Danny Duca into the game. Lambraya has one of the Dolphins' goals this year. And Macy Jones-Bush has another. She was the player who sent that ball up the pitch. It was headed in the other direction. The Dolphins will throw. Espada throws short for Solomon. Now Espada sends it over to Serrano. Serrano facing pressure from behind, gets it to Espada. She sent it up into the air. It's headed by Robbins and sent back the other way by Castro. A good ball as it rolls toward the foot of Lambraya. Lambraya being challenged by 2 Lions, and she was quickly dispossessed. Castro looked to get to it. We had a collision over the ball there. Castro went down for CSI. Looked like that was Confederac who went down for Georgian court. Looks like Confederac got the worst of it. She remains down. It's going to be a free kick for Georgian court once play resumes. And once again, our clock is not cooperating with the venue here. We'll give it one more chance, and if it doesn't work, we will hide our scoreboard and go with the venue scoreboard moving forward. But right now, our clock is certainly not cooperating. Free kick for the Lions out across the midfield stripe. That's sent toward the top of the box. First contact was made by Kulinguski, and Solomon is able to clear. Dolphins wanted a handball, and they certainly had a case. Here comes Kulinguski, and she's dispossessed. Good work there by Albano and Marr. It looked like Albano had a piece of the jersey. Ball rolls onto the foot of Espada. Officially, there are 20 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this first half, as it looks like we're going to abandon our scoreboard for now. We'll go manual the rest of the way, as the Lions have it along the far side. Parkinson, strong challenge there by Evola, wins the ball for CSI. Serrano had that pass deflected. Solomon battling against Kulinguski. Kulinguski got rid of it. Up ahead to Canfield. That ball sent down toward the corner. Rodolfo gives chase. Castro there for CSI, and Castro sends it over the far side. This throw-in will come from about as deep in the corner as you can take a throw-in. Throw-in short. It was off the body of Kennelly, and she could not keep it in play. Goal kick, Staten Island, as Brianna Dorr will get an assist from Emily Albano. She'll tie the cleat for the Dolphins goalkeeper. Taking place off your screen just by a bit. And Dorr will take this goal kick for CSI with 18:45 on the clock in the first half. That ball sent into the midfield where it was headed by Canfield. Canfield gets it back off a couple of deflections. She plays it back to Robbins. Robbins has Parkinson. Parkinson back to the far side. Confederac up ahead. Rodolfo once again making a run up that far side toward the corner, and she does not get there in time. Once again, a goal kick for Staten Island. Lions have really been looking to utilize that wing along the far side on the attack. We haven't seen much play along the near side. It's been a busy day at that backer spot for Megan Marr. Castro's been over there as well. Right now, Marr at right center back, and on the outside is Castro. We did have a whistle, and it looks like the Dolphins will set up for another attempt on the goal kick. Aaliyah Canfield at that last stoppage headed to the Lions bench. Jessica Ford into the game for Georgian court. Here comes Abby Kennelly toward the end line. And that ball remains in. Wasn't sure about that from up here. Had to hesitate, but it's going to be a Georgian court throw from the near side. Throw in taken quickly and taken short. First touch for Ford. Play back to Robbins. Robbins for Confederac. Parkinson was the intended target on that ball. It was just a bit too long. Taken by Solomon, and she is fouled. Parkinson a bit too aggressive on the challenge of Solomon there. Free kick Staten Island. Emily Albano will take it, and she will move up a couple of yards. Albano's free kick sent to the attacking third. Several Lions right there waiting, and it's quickly sent away by Rodolfo. That was off the heel of Crystal Hund. Castro kept it in. Marr retreating toward her own goal. Gets it back to Dorr. Dorr barely able to avoid Kennelly. Quick plant of the foot there by the Dolphins goalkeeper to avoid the pressure. As Kennelly may get another chance here. It was headed away by Albano off the body of Rodolfo. Albano maintains position over the ball. Rodolfo challenging. That ball barely clears Hund. And now Duca looks to take possession in the midfield for Staten Island. She cannot. Parkinson was looking for De Silva, and Jones-Bush nearly intercepted that ball. Jones-Bush has already scored once like that this year. Here come the Lions again. This is Kennelly with a step, and she shoots that off of Megan Marr. We're going to have a Lions substitution ahead of this corner kick. Heading off is Grace Confederac. And heading onto the pitch is Izzy Hernandez. Corner kick Lions. Just inside of 14.5 minutes to play in this first half. That ball sent into the middle of the box. Dangerous spot. Quickly cleared away by the Dolphins. Hernandez. Challenged by Lambraya. She got rid of it. Into the midfield. Waiting for it was Carissa Robbins. Now Clayton. Clayton working against Jones-Bush. Got rid of it. Nobody home on that pass except for Sophia Espada of Staten Island. Espada gets it back from Jones-Bush, and she is dispossessed. Kennelly had the ball partially knocked away by Espada. Albano into the midfield now. She was looking for Duca to move forward a bit. Duca stayed put. And that's scooped up by Brendan Guzman along the far side. Dolphins head coach gets his first touch of the match as CSI will make 3 substitutions. Looks like Melgar, D'Amico, and you have checked in for Staten Island. Serrano, Castro, and Evola checking out for the Dolphins. Throw in on the edge of the attacking third for Staten Island here as we approach 13 minutes to play in this first half. This is you. She was looking for D'Amico, and she was fouled. Free kick for the Dolphins. Dolphins haven't had a free kick at this end of the pitch yet. Albano setting up along the far side. Dolphins scattered around the top of the penalty area right now. No clear indication of where Albano will look to put this ball. Albano's free kick, a good one, headed by D'Amico, and it was sent wide. Good attempt on the free kick there by Albano. Nice job to track it down as well by D'Amico, who did get a head on it, but sent it wide of the frame. We will get a second look. Sometimes a bit tough to follow the ball in this wide angle, but here's a look at that last header attempt, and you You see it quite clearly there. Here come the Lions back the other way, and that shot was partially blocked by Marr. And we have a foul there. Now, taking a look at our video feed coupled with our audio, it does appear that we might be a bit delayed, as in the video is a bit behind my audio. The video is being transmitted over the Huddle Focus platform. This is our first broadcast using our automated camera, so we'll have to iron out some of the issues there. As that ball sent it to the box, headed to a wide-open Hernandez. She sends it on goal, and Dorr looked as if she was able to keep it out, but offsides is the call, so no goal. We'll get a second look at it on replay. That's as close as it gets as to whether or not Dorr was able to keep that ball out. I'm not sure it was going to matter, as offsides was the call against Hernandez. But we are going to get a second look at it anyway. Tough to see from up here, and with this angle, whether or not Dorr was able to keep that from crossing the goal line. But here's a second look. Also in the area was Rodolfo, and I think Dorr kept that out. Dolphins wanted a handball. They don't get the call, as the Lions now have it in the midfield. Just over 10 minutes to play in this first half. Once again, the ball sent into the midfield. It's chipped up into the air by the Lions to the edge of the attacking third. Possession once again with Georgian court in the midfield. Duca gets a foot on it and gets it to Solomon. Solomon was dispossessed quickly, and the Lions have it right back. Poor touch there by Nicole Torelli. Clayton facing pressure from D'Amico. She gets rid of it toward the near side. It's over the touchline, and the Dolphins are going to throw in. Throw-in is taken quickly. That ball sent onto the foot of Solomon and into the air. First line to get a foot on it was De Silva. She plays it far side for Rodolfo. Rodolfo moving up the far sideline. Sends it up the pitch. It's chipped nicely to an open line, and a give and go worked to perfection there. Canelli to Hernandez, but Hernandez couldn't control it. She was wide open, and she was on sides. Dangerous spot there that the Dolphins found themselves in. They catch a break. The Lions are going to make a substitution at the next opportunity. That will not be here as the Dolphins are throwing. Youth throws, and that was quickly headed. This is Ford. She gives it up for Kolanguski. Back to Clayton. That ball redirected a couple of times by a pair of Lions. Now the Dolphins have it. Albano. Over the near side. That ball not close to anybody. Substitution coming on for Georgian court, a pair of them. Number 19, Ashley Merizalde checks in. And number 20, Brianna Parkinson into the game for Georgian court. Albano sent that one off of Merizalde. Fight for possession here. It goes to Albano. She tried to clear it. It was partially deflected. That's sent over the near side by Solomon. Throw in for Jessica Ford and the Lions. Hernandez working against Albano, and the Dolphins are awarded a goal kick.
Now into the game for the Lions, number 19, Ashley Merizalde, number 20, Brianna Parkinson, and number 28, Brianna Hill.
Dolphins goal kick coming up just inside of 7 minutes to play in this first half. Still no score between CSI and Georgian Court. The Lions scored 8 times against CSI last season. Dolphins are looking for their first goal in their last 3 games. That following a 2-0 victory over Deauville back on October 1st. Dolphins haven't scored since. They'll look to change that as Melgar carries it through the midfield. She finds Duca. That ball a bit too strong, and it was tracked down by the Lions along the far side. They let it roll, and Georgian Court will throw. Melgar for D'Amico. Back to Jones-Bush. Jones-Bush toward goal. And that will be the first touch of the game for Alyssa Diaz. Lions once again look to move up that far side. They've really been looking to attack that side far more than the near side. That ball could not be controlled along the far side. The Dolphins will throw. 5.5 to play in the first half. Dolphins still looking for their first shot. Though it looks like Jones-Bush was credited with a shot there, so Dolphins did just pick up their first shot of the match. Looks like they're going to move the thrower here. A lot of puzzled looks along that far sideline. Didn't look like anybody was certain what the whistle was for, but the Dolphins will throw again. And the Lions will clear. Dolphins throw at 4:42 on the clock here at Dolphin Soccer Park. That ball rolling into the box. A lot of traffic. Jones-Bush is there. And was it blocked? It was not. Dolphins had a quick developing chance off of that throw. By far their best opportunity as that ball bounced around in traffic. But nothing comes of it. We'll get a second look at it in just a moment. And here it is. There you see that ball rolling into a lot of traffic. Jones-Bush, the nearest Dolphin, but couldn't send it on target. Couldn't send it off of a defender either. Looked like D'Amico was her nearest teammate. Tough angle to make that pass. Good ball there by Jessica Ford. In moves Parkinson, but she was a bit strong on that pass. Espada finds D'Amico. D'Amico avoids a challenge, moving toward the center of the pitch. Her pass intercepted. Looked like it was intended for Melgar. Under 3.5 to play in this first half. That ball redirected by Hernandez along the far side. That's sent to the box. Dora is waiting, and she has it. Dora will punt out toward midfield. Lambraya was able to deaden that ball with the first touch. And now the Lions may have a chance. Great ball there to set up Parkinson. She crosses, and she cannot connect on the cross as that shot is sent high by Jessica Ford. But a chance there on the cross for Parkinson. We're going to get a second look at it. She had Merizalde wide open in the middle for what would have been a sure goal. And it looks like the Lions are just coming closer and closer to scoring as this first half winds to a close. Here's another look at that last attacking play. We might have to cut away here, and we won't as that ball is sent out of play over the end line. There you get a second look at that last cross. Dolphins were in the area and were able to clear it away eventually, but Merizalde certainly had a chance to score. Corner kick, Georgian Court. Under 2 minutes to play in the first half. That's sent toward the middle of the box, headed by a pair of Dolphins. Espada wanted to clear it. She could not. And Parkinson sends it back into the midfield for De Silva. De Silva up the far side. It was knocked away by CSI. We approach 90 seconds to play in the half. Duca got it up ahead to Lambraya. Now Melgar. Melgar for Solomon. Solomon being pressured. Retreats a bit and gets it over to Duca. Duca for Melgar. Melgar was looking for Lambraya. Couldn't get it to her. Intercepted by the Lions. Knocked away by Duca. Georgian court moves up the far side. That ball finds Megan Marr. Marr for Lambraya. Back to Melgar. She wanted D'Amico. Quick passing there by the Dolphins as we reach 1 minute to play in this first half. Albano sends it a long way up the pitch. D'Amico gives chase. That's headed away in the back by Robbins. Jones-Bush gets it. Marr. 40 seconds to go in the half. Solomon knocked it down. Jones-Bush has it again. Jones-Bush for Melgar. Melgar toward the box. Clayton got a piece. Espada for Lambraya. 25 seconds to play. That's sent to the far side into the midfield. 20 seconds to go in the half. Melgar. Melgar for D'Amico. Her pass intercepted with 10 seconds to play. And the Lions may be content to run the final seconds out as Clayton sends it into the box. Dorr has it, and that will do it for the first half. We reach halftime here at Dolphins Soccer Park with no score between the College of Staten Island and Georgian Court University. When we come back, the next 45 minutes in this NCAA Division II women's soccer matchup. Once again, Lions and Dolphins, no score at the halftime break.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels.
I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels.
I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
You Know I'm Right is the podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, entertainment, and pop culture. On the show, hosts Nick and Joe walk guests through the retelling of their humble beginnings, covering an array of topics from specific interests and hobbies to personal opinions regarding each facet of their industry. You Know I'm Right offers insight on how to adapt and advance, and offers alternative advice as opposed to a one-size-fits-all strategy. Above all else, the number one goal of You Know I'm Right is to offer listeners an exclusive behind-the-scenes vantage point not found anywhere else through its increasing list of professional connections. With a following that continues to grow daily, You Know I'm Right is transforming into a must-listen podcast in the right place at the right time. Find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. You do not want to miss an episode of You Know I'm
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tight.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly tamed them.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
And we are back from Dolphin Soccer Park, where we are at the start of the second half. Just under 10 seconds to go until half number 2 gets underway. And I will be stepping aside for just a moment into the room next door to assist with some stats work. But I will be back with you on the call in just a couple of minutes here on the ECC Network. Until then, enjoy the start of the second half in this NCAA Division II women's soccer matchup between the College of Staten Island and Georgian Court University. Joe Foreman rejoining you here on the ECC Network as we were about 2.5 minutes into the second half between the College of Staten Island and Georgian Court University. Still no score between the two sides in this NCAA Division II women's soccer match. First half heavily favored the Lions. They had most of the shots, all 3 of the shots on goal, all 5 of the corner kicks, and had a great opportunity to get on the board first late in the half on a cross, but the Dolphins were able to break it up just in time in front of a wide-open goal, and with that, we were sent to the halftime break with no score. Ball now in the midfield. Canfield sent it to the far side. It was met by Lambraya. Espada chases it down along the far side. She was nearly dispossessed, but continues forward. Sends it to D'Amico. Now Jones-Bush right back to D'Amico. A bit too strong on that ball. Wound up with Evola. And in the midfield with the Lions, that's Rodolfo. Over the near side. Throw in Staten Island. You will throw in from the near side. Once again, for those of you just tuning in, my audio may be a bit ahead of our video as we're using an automated camera that is connected to our broadcasting software over the internet. So hopefully by our next broadcast, we can get an audio cable that hooks up directly to the camera. That way my audio and the video feed are properly synced. But for the rest of this broadcast, we'll be about maybe a half a second to a full second ahead of the action. That's sent out to the midfield by Dorr from the top of the box. Lions moving toward the far side. Clayton plays it up ahead. Espada defending in the corner against Hund. Hund retreats a bit, got rid of it, and we have a whistle and a clock stoppage. Clock stopped at 40 minutes and 15 seconds, and it looks like the head official is going to have a word with Hund and Espada. The two players look completely disinterested and baffled as to why play was stopped. We'll get our clock on your screens restarted when the time on the scoreboard meets 39 minutes and 55 seconds. Our Cloud scoreboard was not cooperating today, so we let that go about midway through the first half. Free kick for the Lions. Most of the Georgian court attackers gathered around the dot near the middle of the box. Some are aligned with the far post. Dolphins set up a wall of two players right on the edge of the penalty area. Whistle blows, and that free kick is sent toward the dot where it's headed by Albano. And the Lions will shoot. It is saved by Dorr, just inside of that far post. Shot on goal number 4 for Georgian court. And our clock is now once again synced with the venue clock as the two teams battle in the midfield. D'Amico got tied up there against Kulanguski. Canfield plays it back to Clayton. Clayton moving toward the midfield stripe has Hernandez. Hernandez, far side. It was chipped in the air and headed by Megan Marr. Galan got a piece for Staten Island. Kennelly looks to take it away. Good ball from Kennelly. Will Rodolfo have enough room? She does in the corner. Rodolfo has a lot of space. She sends one toward the top of the box. Open is Kulanguski. That is played back to De Silva. She's dispossessed by Evola, and it's going to be a throw-in. Lions throwing with 39 minutes on the clock. That was deflected, and the Dolphins came away with it for a moment. That's now sent in the air, headed by Galan. Getting a knee on it was Ford. It rolls onto the foot of Lambraya. Lambraya looking for somewhere to go with it. She has Evola. Evola up towards D'Amico. D'Amico couldn't track it down. Ahead of the defender, that was Carissa Robbins. Cleared it out of danger. Now Clayton. That's headed by you. That's sent toward the Dolphins' goal, and Albano gives way to her keeper, Brianna Dorr. Dorr rolls it over to Espada quickly. She's looking for Jones-Bush, and Jones-Bush collided with Clayton along the far side. As she ran out of space, the Lions throw. Hernandez, challenged by Albano. That ball a bit behind Kennelly, and the Lions now have it in the midfield. Nice move there by Hund to get around Jones-Bush. Jones-Bush tries to recover. Hernandez has a step. As that sent it to the box, Kennelly chips it into the air toward goal. where it's saved by Dorr. That opening for Hernandez came when Albano tried to help after Jones-Bush was beaten on the move by Hund. That extra step allowed that cross, but on an overhead chipped shot, Dorr had an easy save. And in fact, she wasn't credited with the save as that ball was played well outside of the Dolphins' net. Chance here on the header, and there's a save for Dorr as that is off the outside of the frame. Abby Kennelly with another high-effort attacking play, and that time Dorr had to make a much more difficult save. We will get a second look at that last attempt as that ball took a very fortunate bounce for the Lions, opening up an opportunity for them. Here's a second look at it as that hit off of a Dolphin and landed right on the head of Abby Kennelly. Not sure if we have a free kick or a goal kick here. We had a whistle along the end line, but nonetheless, the Dolphins do possess it with just inside of 36 and a half minutes to play here in the second half. Dorr has Espada. Espada had her pass partially tipped. Evola was dispossessed, but the Dolphins will keep it on this throw-in. And the head official then signals in the other direction. Lions throw. Canfield tried to direct it over toward Hernandez, but plenty of white jerseys in the area. Evola for Solomon. Solomon couldn't handle it cleanly, gets it back to Albano. That pass intended for Espada is off the mark. Off the throw, Espada is there for Staten Island, being pressured by Hernandez. And it looks like it's going to be another goal kick for the Dolphins. Wasn't sure if Espada got a piece of that one or not. Once again, a goal kick for Staten Island as we approach 35 minutes to play in the second half. Dorr sends it up toward Jones-Bush, who got a head on it. Possession quickly taken back by the Lions in the midfield. This is Clayton. Was looking for Kennelly, intercepted by Albano. Albano was looking for a lane, could not find one. Lambraya far side. And down goes Galan. So the Dolphins will get a free kick in a dangerous spot here after that last whistle. Dolphins had a free kick from a bit further out at the other end earlier, and that resulted in a CSI shot. A header by Jackie D'Amico that went wide. Albano took that last free kick. This time it's going to be Evola. Dolphins gathering along the top of the penalty area, wide of the far post. Evola's free kick toward the near post. D'Amico is there! She got a head on it, and she scores! Jackie D'Amico scores on the header following the CSI free kick, and the Dolphins have taken a 1-0 lead. Men's soccer loves it in the bleachers here at Dolphin Soccer Park, as the women's soccer team is back on the scoreboard here at home. They lead the Lions 1-0, and we are going to get a second look at that Dolphins goal. Evola on the assist from the free kick. D'Amico, who had the header attempt on the last free kick, got a second chance right there, and she made no mistake on that shot. As the Dolphins take the 1-goal advantage, here's a look at the replay.
The Dolphins goal, scored by number 2, Jacqueline D'Amico.
For D'Amico, that is her first of the season as Andrew Rotundo makes that announcement over public address. Dolphins lead by a goal. Had to step aside into the room next door quickly to make sure we got that goal up on our venue scoreboard. And a chance for the Lions here is off the post and in. That didn't take long as Georgian Court has tied the score. That was their leading goal scorer, Aaliyah Canfield, on the redirect in front. And just like that, we are knotted at 1 goal per side. We will get a second look at that one as that attacking play got started down in the corner. The ball was then deflected up into the air. Canfield was waiting right in the middle of the penalty area, and she put it in for the first Lions goal. Here's a second look at it. Cross from the corner, chipped into the air by Canfield. Dorr could not make the save as it deflects in off of that far post. And the energy has just been sucked right out of the building here at Dolphin Soccer Park. Whistle here, and it looks like we're going to have a throw-in for Staten Island. Deep in the corner, if not a corner kick. Looks like you might just be trying to get some extra behind this throw, but she travels way down into the corner, and that's exactly what she's going to do. She puts a lot on that throw. It's headed over the near side now to play. Officially 32-18 on the clock here at Dolphin Soccer Park. And I've been summoned to the room next door. I will be right back here on the ECC Network. Our score even at 1 between the Dolphins and the Lions. And I do apologize for the lack of commentary over the last couple of minutes. I was summoned into the room next door to assist with some stats issues. We had to get some correct substitutions out onto the pitch. But once again, this is Joe Foreman back with you from Dolphin Soccer Park. This is CSI Sportsnet coverage of NCAA Division II women's soccer on the ECC network. We have 28:45 on the clock here from the College of Staten Island, where the Georgian Court University Lions and the College of Staten Island Dolphins are tied at 1 goal per side. Dolphins scored first. The Lions scored shortly thereafter, and that's where we stand right now. Georgian Court had a couple of chances while I was in the room next door, but the Dolphins were able to keep this game tied. And the Lions will look to put the pressure on yet again right here as the Dolphins clear it over the far side. Throw-in for Georgian Court here as we approach 28 minutes to play in half number 2. The Dolphins' goal scored by Jackie D'Amico, her first of the season, assisted by Nadia Evola. Going to double-check the official scoring on the assist for the Georgian Court goal, but it was scored by Aaliyah Canfield, her team-leading 5th goal of the season. She entered today's match with a share of the team lead, now has sole possession of that lead. As Rodolfo had her initial shot partially blocked, Marr with a strong tackle, she's down, but that disrupts the attacking play just enough. As Danny Duca looked to clear it, and she sent it off of De Silva. We'll get the assist on that Georgian Court goal in just a moment. And right now, officially, no assist. So we'll consult the video and make sure that is correct. We had a couple of deflections in front ahead of that goal, which may have negated the assist. We'll see. Depends on how much time passed between the initial pass and the goal, but I think it's likely that we add an assist to that later. And if I'm not mistaken, the assist on the goal would go to number 7, Sofia Rodolfo, if there is one. So we'll consult the video, double check. And if Rodolfo should have an assist, she will be credited with that assist. Meanwhile, it's a free kick for the Lions. They have it maybe about 10 yards outside of the penalty area, perhaps a bit less. Dangerous spot here on the free kick. Clayton sends it off the wall. It was blocked by D'Amico. That's headed toward goal, and Dorr stops it on a hop. Melgar across the midfield stripe. Clayton sent it over to Hund. It was redirected and run there by Hernandez. Made the Dolphin supporters hold their breath for just a moment. With it in the midfield now is Clayton up the far side. That pass was partially deflected. And the Lions come away with it again. Kennelly battling. She sends one up toward Rodolfo. Rodolfo is on sides. Rodolfo looks to cross. Ball sent in front. It gets through Kennelly, and Albano was able to clear. Bodies everywhere in front of the Dolphins' goal as Espada sends it into the midfield, and the clock is stopped at 25-25. The trainer will be waved straight out onto the pitch as we have a player down in the center of the box for Georgian Court. Teammates trying to help the injured player to her feet. Didn't get a look at the number to see who it was that is down injured. We had a strong attempt on a tackle in the box by a Lion, and that set off a chain reaction of bodies spilling everywhere in the middle of the penalty area. And it doesn't look like this injury timeout is going to be a short one. So with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have the final 25-25 of the second half in this NCAA Division II women's soccer matchup between Georgian Court University and the College of Staten Island.
If it was you, bro, that should be weak. I have a guest people call my
Into the game for the Lions, number 12, Jordan Nelson. She replaces number 5, Abby Kennelly.
Joe Foreman back with you from Dolphins Soccer Park. And even 25 minutes remaining on the clock here in the second half between the Dolphins and the Lions. Score still even at 1 between the two sides. As we bring our East Coast Conference scoreboard graphic back in, specially designed for the conference. Of course, every Dolphins home game broadcast via the ECC network here on CSI Sportsnet. And once again, this is Rodolfo down in the corner with some room. Melgar in the area. Rodolfo moving in toward the end line. And it's going to be a goal kick for Staten Island. Dolphins with just one shot on goal, and that was enough to put them up on the scoreboard. Lions with 6. One of those found the back of the net off the post. And that is still where we stand with just over 24 minutes to play here in the second half. Time on attack, time of possession, heavily favoring the Lions all game long. The Dolphins scored off of a free kick. 2 of their best opportunities have come off of free kicks, both on headers by Jackie D'Amico. The first went wide. The second found its way in. As that ball was deflected over the far side, Espada will throw for CSI. And she'll throw back to Albano. She finds Galan. Galan facing pressure from behind, gets it to Albano again. And that ball's over the far side. Was helping out in the room next door once again. Didn't get a chance to see who the injured player was, but the player who went down is on the scorer's table. And once I know who it was that went down, I'll share that. Going to take a look at some of the substitutions, see if we can figure it out. But at that last stoppage, several players came out of the game. De Silva, Ford, and Kennelly all came out of the game at that injury timeout. As that ball stays in for a couple of moments and then finally rolls over the near side. Now, substitution coming on once again for the Lions. They've been making a lot of changes here in the second half. Trying to get a look over towards the bench. And from here, it looks like it was Kennelly who went down injured. And I do believe that was Abby Kennelly who was the injured line. It was. So she makes her way back to the bench under her own power. She appears okay, and that's good to see, as that did not look good following the injury timeout. She was down for at least a minute or two in the middle of the penalty area. Throw-in led to a corner immediately off of that throw, and now the Lions will attempt corner kick number 6 here as that's sent toward goal. Dolphins had it twice. Duca got a foot on it. Rolls away. You look to clear, and I think she cleared it right off her own teammate. Possession was with the Lions for a moment, and the Dolphins get it back as D'Amico finally clears. Melgar gives chase, but she ran out of room. Throw in for the Lions. 21:30 on the clock as the Lions threw in. And once again, the Dolphins trying to send that ball back toward midfield. D'Amico for Solomon. Solomon back to Galan. Ball finds Espada. Espada, far side for D'Amico. Sent in the air by the Lions. And a second time that ball sent skyward. Waiting for it is Albano. Header into the Lions bench. Throw in taken quickly by Georgian Court along the far side. Galan. Up to D'Amico. Back to Espada. Albano for Marr. She threads the needle on that pass for Solomon. Now you moving into the midfield. She has some space here. And she was looking for Duca, but it's deflected over the near side. Dolphins will throw as CSI also has 3 substitutions waiting at the scorer's table with 20 minutes to play. Jones, Bush, Evola, and Lambraya over at the scorer's table right now. We're inside of 20 minutes to play here from Dolphin Soccer Park. This is Galan. Back to Albano. Now Dorr. Up ahead to Solomon. Galan. Facing pressure. She grabbed the jersey. That did not draw an advantage. Marr got tangled up there with the attacking player, and down went Merizalde. No whistle there either. Head official letting them play. Lions throw. That was headed into the midfield, and the Lions moving forward with some speed. This is Clayton against D'Amico. She gains a step, crosses, it gets through, but Yu is there waiting. Good ball there, but nobody on the receiving end of that cross. That pass was intercepted by Confederac. Solomon continues to battle. She was being pressured from behind by Jordan Nelson. Duca avoids a challenge, got rid of it. That pass intercepted again. The Lions moving forward. Chance here on that shot, and it's behind the frame, off the foot of Merizalde. And with that, the Dolphins will get 3 substitutions out onto the pitch. But another good quality chance for the Lions off of the turnover by the Dolphins. And we will get a second look at it right here. "18 minutes to play in the second half, and here's a look at that last Lions shot. Dorr forced to dive out toward the post. The shot was wide. That ball bounces in the box, and Dorr is there waiting for it.
For the Dolphins now, number 5, Macy Jones-Bush. Number 8, Nadia Ivera. And number 11, Christina Lambraya.
As I mentioned before, the Dolphins had Lambraya, Jones, Bush, and Evola waiting at the scorer's table. They all check in at that last stoppage. We approach 17 minutes to play here in the second half as the Dolphins look to finally make it through the midfield. Evola toward Lambraya, and able to send it away was Robbins. That's a big play. Dolphins had numbers there. Parkinson sends it to the far side for Clayton. Clayton plays it ahead. Lions moving to the attacking third here as they have it now down in the corner. That's sent toward the middle of the box. And you with a strong defensive play there as that was headed forward by Jane Paskin. Looking to keep it in. Down in the corner was Parkinson. She could not. as she sent it behind the frame. Goal kick Staten Island, 16:22 on the clock. And we'll have another substitution here. That ball sent toward the midfield where it was headed again by a Lion. And over the near side, Dolphins throw. Short throw. And that's over the near side again. The CSI will throw a second time. Long throw this time. Headed by Paskin. Espada tracks it down. She has Galan. Back to D'Amico. Now Albano. Lions pressuring here, and they force another turnover. But Albano with a good tackle there as she knocked it away from Hund. Galan trapped along the sideline, got it away. Evola could not get it to Jones-Bush, but Jones-Bush came back for it, and she takes possession. Evola didn't get all of that ball, but now she's looking to make a run, and that attempted pass was cut off. Good defensive play there by Robbins again. Far side, Clayton. Toward the center of the pitch, it's deflected by a pair of Dolphins. Solomon has you. Evola had it bounce off of her foot, and that contact draws a whistle. It will be a free kick for the Lions. Under 15 minutes to play here in the second half. Dolphins receiving instruction from Brendan Guzman on the bench. Lions have it once again in the midfield. Dolphins quickly took it back, and the contact results in a whistle for a foul. Ball once again in the midfield here. As the Lions move forward into the attacking third. Kalinguski had it knocked away. Another throw-in upcoming. Off the throw, the Dolphins took possession back, and it's quickly sent over the far side by Staten Island. GCU will throw now. Long throw there, down toward the corner. Kulinguski surrounded by white jerseys. Paskin chips it in the air nicely. That's sent toward goal, but it was blocked. Waiting for it was Confederac, but Marr was having none of it. She takes it away. Jones-Bush up ahead, and Jones-Bush is moving in, but she will not beat Diaz to the spot. Jones-Bush had a chance there. It was a foot race, and Diaz just got there first. Under 12 and a half to play, score still tied at 1. Solomon nearly took it away. She goes down. Evola battling. She sends one toward goal with the left foot. Men's soccer wanted a whistle. They don't get it. Nice crowd here at Dolphins Soccer Park this afternoon. For the women, they have 2 more home matches on the schedule following today's game. One a week from today against Damon, and a second 2 weeks from today against Bloomfield. That one sent in front, and you clears it wide of the frame. That was dangerous. Hund with a good ball into traffic in front of the CSI goal, and that certainly could have been big trouble. We will get a second look at it following this corner kick. That is tough to do as a backer, as that corner kick is sent toward the center of the box, right in front of goal. That was a good corner. And that shot is over the crossbar. And I'll tell you, from up here, that looked awfully close. I wasn't the only one who thought that might have gone in. Men's soccer was with me on that one. We're all one unit here today. They're seated about 2 feet in front of me outside of the window. Here's a look at that clearance by you, and what a risky play. Didn't have any choice. Did a good job to keep it high and wide of the frame, but it just as easily could have been an own goal. Dolphins move forward into the midfield. Espada looking for a lane here, and another strong challenge by Parkinson. She's been involved in a lot of these takeaways in the midfield. That's been a problem these last few minutes. As that was sent into the box, Serrano wanted a call and didn't get it. Play continued. That's sent toward goal and once again wide of the frame. Pressure has been firmly upon the Dolphins these last few minutes. They've struggled for shots here in the second half. That run by Jones-Bush was their best chance since their goal. They haven't had a shot opportunity since, just the one shot on goal. But at this point in the game, it only takes one. And CSI has themselves a lead. Same goes for Georgian Court, as they look for win number 4 on their season. That ball rolling up the far side, and it's over the touchline. Dolphins will throw. Albano sends it in quickly to her goalkeeper, Dorr, and immediately the Lions come sprinting down the pitch. Lions not giving up an inch here as they take possession. This is Clayton along the far side in the midfield. A lot of traffic around Ford there who received that pass. Dolphins now applying pressure, and the clock will be stopped. Clock stopped at 9:02. Didn't get a look at who the down player is. And we'll see if we're going to take another quick break here with 9:02 on the clock. These two teams still tied at 1. We'll give it a short time here. This is our second injury timeout in the second half, but if you're the Dolphins right now, I think you have to be appreciative of the chance to take a breather here and regroup. Most of the attacking play has been down around their goal here in the second half. It was a bit of a tough break that led to the Lions' goal as well. Aaliyah Canfield was certainly in the right place, but she chipped one up into the air and off of the post. It rebounded in off of that post and got behind Dorr, who couldn't recover in time to keep it out. The injury timeout, a short one in this case. And the Lions are awarded a free kick off of it. So a set piece here for the Lions, so they are far out. This free kick will be taken from closer to midfield in the penalty area. But as we saw earlier, all it takes is one favorable bounce. As that ball sent toward the top of the box. A lot of white jerseys down there. Every Dolphin was down around the box there. That's sent toward goal. Dorr knocks it down and pulls it in. So Dolphins able to work around that free kick. And that ball rolls over the near side. The Dolphins will throw. You will throw it. She's looked to throw it as long as she can on most occasions, as that sails over the head of Evola and is sent into the air. Headed a second time by Parkinson. D'Amico was there waiting. Parkinson gave it away. Melgar up toward Jones, Bush, and Evola. But once again, that ball finds its way back into the midfield. And we have another whistle. Clock stopped at 7:47. Looks like the head official is having a word with Brendan Guzman. I'm not sure if he got a warning or if he was shown a yellow, but there's a discussion going on right now, and Brendan definitely looks unhappy with something. When play resumes, it's going to be a throw-in for the Lions. 7:47 remaining here in the second half. Going to move the thrower back a couple of steps. Throw to be taken from right next to the Dolphins bench. Throw-in is met by the Dolphins. That's Melgar moving into the midfield. Sent into the air by Paskin. She waits for it to come down now as the Lions head back in the other direction. And that's over the near side, and Paskin upset. And it certainly looked like Solomon grabbed the jersey there. Got away with it. 7:15 remaining. And the Dolphins throw. D'Amico. Up ahead toward Evola. Whiffing on that one for the Lions. Evola nearly took it away. Confederac wanted to clear and completely whiffed on the clearance attempt. That could have been big trouble. Ball along the far side now. Once again, it's going to be a throw, this time for the Lions. Officially 6:25 remaining here in the second half. 6:25. We'll get our clock synced with the venue as the two teams fight for possession along the far side. Once again, the Lions will throw in. 6:10 remaining. Clayton throws to Paskin. She gets it over to Confederac. Now Rodolfo. Yu gets tangled up with Kulinguski. And the throw-in belongs to the Lions, taken quickly. Paskin looks to move toward the center of the pitch. She goes down. Her pass intercepted by D'Amico. D'Amico tried to send it away. That was blocked. It's played back to Dorr, who sends it into the midfield. That was headed by Robbins, and now Yu has it for Staten Island. Marr retreats toward her own goal. She lets Dorr play it. Dorr again across midfield. Robbins sends it into the air. It's headed by Parkinson. D'Amico tried to get it to Melgar. Her pass off target. Serrano for Staten Island sends it back toward Yu, who retrieves it at the top of the box. Just over 5 minutes to play now. Lambraya near side, couldn't keep it in. Substitution coming on. Looks like number 12, Jordan Nelson, coming in. Or perhaps that's 15. That is 15, Jessica Ford, coming back into the game for Georgian Court University. 4:42 remaining in the game. Throw by the Lions goes short to Rodolfo. She turns quickly. Lambraya applying the pressure. She got rid of it to Parkinson. Parkinson to Clayton. Clayton looking to play it through. Could not get it past Adriana Melgar. Now Evola got rid of it, but there's nobody home for the Dolphins up there. Diaz will wait for it. She has it. Lambraya was closest for Staten Island. Now Evola will challenge. Confederac sent it over to Robbins, but Marr again played it for Staten Island in the midfield. D'Amico for Solomon. Solomon looking for Melgar. Melgar kept it in, and Jones-Bush was there waiting, but not enough on the pass. A good ball to set up Melgar, and then Jones-Bush had some space in the box, but there wasn't enough on the second pass. Jones-Bush toward Evola, battling with Rodolfo. Evola could not get a shot off, and we had a whistle against the Dolphins. It looks like CSI was whistled for a foul there. We're going to get a second look at it on the replay. I think it was Evola who got called for a foul when the player went down in the box. Here's a look at it once again on the replay. And we may have to cut away here. And we will, as Evola makes a nice move. Serrano shoots and didn't get enough of it, but in the midst of that replay, we had to cut away. Right at the tail end of it, the Dolphins forced a turnover in the midfield. And we'll get a second look at what happened if we get another stoppage, but you caught everything you needed to see there. We didn't miss any of it. Following that replay, as that's played back to Dorr and sent toward the far side, it rolls over the touchline. Or at least I thought it did. As it was kept in, it winds up in the hands of Alyssa Diaz, a Georgian court goalkeeper. Here's a quick look at that last shot and save by the Dolphins. There you see Evola making contact with it. Serrano played it with the body, but couldn't get enough of that shot to put it past Diaz. We're going to have a throw-in from along the far side with 1:45 to play. Duca in for Staten Island. Evola heads off. Leaving the pitch for the Lions is Confederac. And Clayton now has it. Being challenged by Jones-Bush. She gives her a shove. Play continues off the throw. 90 seconds remaining. Hernandez has some room. Melgar gets there quickly. Hernandez sends one in front. And Dorr able to reel it in. It looked like Kulinguski was in the area. Just over a minute to play here from Dolphins Soccer Park. Dolphins looking for their second home win. It would be their first victory in their last 3 games. 1 minute remaining. Duca moving in. That ball too strong. Duca goes down as Diaz slid on top of that ball. Under a minute to play. Diaz sends it into the midfield. Melgar is there waiting. It bounces over her head. Canfield played it up ahead along the far side, and Canfield trips over the ball. Foul called against the Dolphins. Free kick Lions. 35 seconds to play. Clock is 29.2 remaining now. 29.2. Free kick for Georgian court here. And a chance for the Lions to take a late lead. That ball sent into the box. Jones-Bush the first to it for Staten Island. Here comes Jones-Bush. She has Duca, but Duca is still onside. No, she isn't. It looked like Duca had reestablished position onside. She was certainly offside before the pass was made, but it looked like she had gotten back onside by the time Jones-Bush got rid of the ball, and she did not. We're going to get one more look at that last pass. Duca was making her run wide open, but she was offsides. And the pass came while Duca was still offside. You'll get a look at it right here. And that is how this game is going to come to a close. It is a 1-1 draw here at Dolphin Soccer Park as we go final from the College of Staten Island. Here's one last look at how it ended for a second time. That pass came just a bit late. Jones-Bush had Duca, and Duca was not able to reestablish position onside ahead of the pass. So that will do it. From the College of Staten Island, Georgian Court University and the College of Staten Island played to a 1-1 draw. Our next broadcast here from Dolphin Soccer Park will be 1 week from today. It will be a men's and women's soccer doubleheader. As of now, the women are scheduled to kick off first at 11 a.m., followed by the men at 2 p.m. Next Wednesday is also currently scheduled as Senior Day from the College of Staten Island, so be sure to join us for that. And until then, this has been Joe Foreman on the call. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you here at Dolphin Soccer Park next Wednesday. If you can't be here, of course, you can always catch all of the action live on CSI Sportsnet, streaming via the ECC network.